Welcome to an American institution, the drive-in theater. There's not a lot of them left these days, but once upon a time, images that could take you into other worlds flashed on these screens. Going to the drive-in was such a different experience, such a magic occasion. You'd prepare for it, you'd bring, snacks and sodas. It was completely different than seeing a movie in a theater, and it just had a different feel. It was more urgent. You really remembered the movie that you saw. For one, the theater was different, that it was outdoors and you were sitting in a car, usually listening to the sound coming through a little metal speaker stuck in your window. The screens were so huge, and it was like a window into the sky behind it. And of course my favorite is fantasy and science fiction, horror films, and because of that I could almost imagine the monsters coming right through the screen into the drive-in, and so it added that level of fantasy and yet weirdly realism to what I was seeing on the screen. There was a time in the not too distant past when you could find these theaters scattered across the country. Every large major city and every small town seemed to have one of these giant outdoor theaters. It's really sad to me that all across America, when you do find the remnants of these theaters, they're just testaments to better times. They're like ancient monolithic structures falling into ruin. There's such a window into a different time, and I find it really unfortunate that more of them aren't still around. I remember one time I went to the drive-in, and earlier that day I'd been out catching lizards in the desert, and my friends and I had been pulling off their tails and dissecting the tails. And I had stabbed myself in the knee with a dissecting needle earlier in the day. And we were watching the Apple Dumpling Gang, and right in one of the scenes with Don Knotts, my legs started stiffening up, and we had to leave the theater and I had to go get tetanus shots. But I'll forever relate Don Knotts with extreme pain, not for the usual reasons maybe, because actually I think he's cool. If you ever have a chance to see a film that was shot in the 50s at a drive-in, I highly recommend it. There's just nothing like it. So thanks again for joining me on another trip down memory lane. I'm going to head over to the snack bar and grab an icy before the movie starts. See you next time.